Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're getting into something I think pretty much everyone experiences, right? That little pang, maybe a big pang, of buyer's remorse. The moment you look at something you just bought and think, why? Why did I do that?
Oh, absolutely. It feels small, maybe, individually, but those unplanned buys, they really add up. They're often the biggest block, honestly, stopping people from hitting savings goals, getting out of debt, achieving real financial freedom.
Exactly.
Mm.
And look, we're not going to sit here and just talk about, budget spreadsheets. That's not the core issue here. Our mission today is to dig deeper. We want to understand the psychology. Why do we click buy now even when our rational brain is screaming no? And then, crucially, give you some real evidence-based tools to, well, interrupt that impulse, to take back control starting today.
That's the plan. We'll break down what's actually happening in your brain, the emotional triggers, the neurological stuff, and then, yeah, straight into practical step-by-step strategies you can actually use, like right away.
And definitely stick around till the end. We promise to share one really powerful mindset shift. Our sources suggest it could genuinely reframe how you see these purchases, potentially save you thousands every year.
It's a perspective changer.
Okay, let's dive in. Where do we even start with why we spend when we rationally probably know we shouldn't?
Well, the sources we looked at are pretty clear. This isn't really about weak willpower or being bad with money in the traditional sense. It's much more about how our basic human psychology works and how it's, frankly, exploited.
Exploited, how so?
The whole modern shopping environment, especially online, is almost perfectly engineered to trigger impulse buys. We found basically four key psychological drivers.
Okay, four drivers. What's number one? The one that keeps us scrolling and clicking.
That's the big one, the dopamine rush. Your brain releases dopamine. That's the main feel-good reward chemical, not just when you get the thing, but often just making the purchase or even anticipating it.
Ah, right. So just adding to cart can feel good.
Exactly. Gives you this little mini high. Online shopping, even just browsing, feeds the brain that little hit of anticipated pleasure. You're kind of chasing that feeling.
Okay, so there's a chemical reward. But if we know that, why isn't just being aware enough to stop it?
Because right on the heels of that dopamine chase comes the second trigger, marketing manipulation. And retailers are, well, masters at this.
How so? Like what specifically?
Think about flash sales, countdown timers saying offer ends soon, or those messages like only 2 left in stock. It creates this artificial urgency. It bypasses your logical thinking and just triggers an emotional, almost panicked must buy now response.
And they use language too, right? Like, you deserve this.
Oh, constantly treat yourself. You've earned it. It validates the emotional decision over the rational one.
And that idea of treating ourselves, that seems to link straight into the third point you mentioned, which sounds more personal.
Yeah, it often is. The third trigger is emotional comfort. Shopping very often becomes a way to cope. It kind of fills a void or distracts us. If you're bored, stressed, sad, even sometimes when you're overly happy and maybe a bit manic, buying something provides instant, though very temporary, relief or stimulation. It's a quick fix for an underlying feeling.
And distraction, basically.
A potent one. And then finally, the way we actually pay for things now makes it all too easy.
Ah, the tech side.
Absolutely. Trigger number 4. Frictionless payments. Think one-click ordering, saved credit card details, contactless payments, buy now, pay later. All these things remove the pain of spending. Money becomes abstract, just numbers on a screen, not physical cash leaving your hand.
Right, doesn't feel like you're spending as much.
Exactly. The transaction feels effortless, almost unreal, so the immediate financial consequence just doesn't register in the same way.
Wow. Okay, so when you put it all together, dopamine, manipulation, emotional needs, easy payments, it's clear it's not just a simple choice we're making. It's this complex mix targeting our vulnerabilities.
Precisely. It's often an emotional and marketed decision, not a conscious, rational one.
So if this psychological sort of assault is happening, how does it show up in our actual behavior? How can you, listening now, maybe spot if you're caught in this loop?
Yeah, let's make it practical. We pulled together a kind of quick diagnostic checklist from common patterns, 4 signs that might suggest impulse spending is a real issue for you.
Okay, let's run through them. Sign number 1.
First sign. You find yourself buying things mainly because they're on sale or heavily discounted, even if you don't actually need the item at all.
The I saved money by spending money trap.
That's the one. A huge red flag. Second sign, and this links back to that emotional piece. Do you tend to shop online or even just browse, specifically when you're feeling strong negative emotions? Boredom, sadness, stress?
Using shopping as a coping mechanism.
Mm-hmm. Third sign. Do you feel a significant wave of guilt, regret, or even just that sinking feeling almost immediately after you make the purchase?
That's the dopamine wearing off and reality kicking back in.
Pretty much. The rational brain catches up. And the fourth sign, this one's very common. By the end of the month, do you look at your bank account and genuinely struggle to remember where a good chunk of your money actually went?
Like it just vanished.
Yeah. If you can't account for it, it's very likely it got chipped away by lots of small, impulsive buys.
Okay, so if listening to that, you're nodding along thinking, yep, that's me. First off, you're definitely not alone. But the good news is just recognizing it is huge. That awareness is step one. Now let's pivot. Let's talk about the toolkit. What are the practical, evidence-based things we can actually do? You mentioned 7 strategies.
Right. Let's get into these, because understanding why they work is as important as knowing what they are. Strategy number 1, and this is a classic for a reason, the 24-hour rule.
Okay, what's the rule?
Simple. You see something you want to buy impulsively. Fine, put it in your online cart or make a note of it. But then you must wait at least 24 hours before you actually buy it.
Why 24 hours specifically? What does that delay do?
It lets the emotional, impulsive part of your brain, the limbic system, calm down. It gives your rational, planning brain, the prefrontal cortex, time to actually engage. That sense of urgency the retailers create, it almost always evaporates within a day. Then you can ask yourself, honestly, do I really need this thing?
Okay, cool down the emotion. Makes sense. What's next?
Next, you need to get specific about your own patterns. Strategy 2, identify and track your triggers. This isn't just about what you buy, but when and why. Are you most vulnerable late at night, scrolling on your phone? Is it right after payday, after a stressful meeting?
So like keeping a little log?
Could be. Or just consciously noting it. The key is knowing the specific situations or feelings that lead to the impulse. Once you know them, you can start to change or avoid those situations.
Which leads nicely into strategy 3, I imagine, tackling the environment.
Exactly. Strategy 3, digital detox. This directly counters that marketing manipulation we talked about.
How does this work in practice?
Be ruthless. Unsubscribe from all those marketing emails from brands. Unfollow social media accounts or ads that constantly tempt you with products. It's basically psychological self-defense. The idea is out of sight, out of mind. If you're not constantly seeing the ads and promotions, the manufactured desire often just fades.
Remove the temptation.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about money itself. You mentioned frictionless payments. How do we fight that?
This is a powerful one. Strategy 4, use physical currency. Cash.
Go old school.
Yes, really. Especially for your discretionary spending, the non-essential stuff. The research here is compelling. Studies show people consistently spend less, sometimes up to 30% less, when they use physical cash instead of cards or digital payments.
30%? Wow, why such a big difference?
It's called the pain of paying. Physically handing over banknotes creates a much more tangible sense of loss in your brain compared to just tapping a card or clicking a button. It makes the transaction real, immediate. You actually see your money disappearing. That acts as a natural brake on spending.
That makes intuitive sense, feeling the loss. Okay, but what about just fun? If we try to cut out all non-essential spending, doesn't that just backfire?
Totally. Trying to be overly restrictive often leads to rebellion later, like a crash diet ending in a binge. That brings us to strategy 5, the guilt-free fun budget.
Okay, I like the sound of that.
Don't ban all treats. Instead, allocate a specific small amount of money each month, maybe say 5% or 10% of your income, purely for discretionary fun, including those impulse-type buys. The key is it's planned for. It's guilt-free. You get to enjoy some spontaneous spending within set limits, which helps protect the rest of your savings and budget goals. You're managing the impulse, not trying to totally eliminate it, which is often unrealistic.
Right, controlled indulgence. That feels more sustainable. What about tackling the why behind the spending, that emotional gap?
Crucial point. That's strategy 6, habit replacement. Since impulse buying is often filling an emotional need, boredom, stress, needing a distraction, you need to consciously substitute that behavior with something else before you spend.
Like what?
The moment you feel that urge coming on, have a pre-planned alternative. Go for a quick walk, call a friend, listen to a specific song, or, and this can be really effective, immediately transfer the amount you are about to spend into your savings account or an investment app.
So you still get a positive action hit, but it's constructive.
Exactly. You replace the spending habit with a saving habit or just a different, healthier coping mechanism.
Okay, one more strategy. What's the final piece of this toolkit?
This one helps keep your eyes on the prize. Strategy 7. Visualize your future goals. You need something powerful to counteract the lure of immediate gratification. So find a tangible image of what you're saving for. Print out a picture of that vacation destination, the house deposit goal, maybe just a symbol of financial freedom.
And put it somewhere visible.
Yes, on your desk, your fridge, your phone lock screen. When that impulse buy tempts you, physically look at that picture and ask yourself the question, do I want this small thing right now, or do I want that bigger dream? It helps weigh the true trade-off.
That really grounds it. Okay, those 7 steps feel like a really solid plan, shifting decisions away from pure emotion back towards rational choice. Now, let's get to that mindset shift you teased at the beginning. What's the core idea we need to internalize to make all this stick?
Okay, it's about fundamentally reframing how you perceive the cost of impulse spending. Here's the core concept, the phrase to remember. Every impulse purchase is basically stealing from your future self.
Oof. Okay, that's blunt. Stealing from your future self. Unpack that a bit. What does that mean financially?
We usually only think about the price tag right now. $50 for this shirt, $20 for that takeout. We see the immediate cost, but we completely ignore the opportunity cost. What else could that money have done?
Yeah.
Let's take that $50. Spend
All right.
impulsively, it gives you, a few minutes of pleasure maybe? But that same $50, if you consistently invested it instead, over time, thanks to compounding, it could grow into significantly more. That small impulse buy didn't just cost you $50 today.
It cost you the potential future growth of that money. The hundreds or even thousands it could have become.
Exactly. You are literally choosing between a fleeting moment of satisfaction now versus building long-term financial security and freedom later. When you truly internalize that the real cost isn't just the money leaving your account today, but the future wealth and options you're sacrificing, the choice looks very different. It becomes much harder to justify the impulse.
That shift from present cost to future loss.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's genuinely powerful.
Yeah.
Okay, this has been incredibly clarifying. We've got the why, the dopamine, the marketing, the emotions, the frictionless tech, and we've got the how, the 7 practical strategies, from the simple 24-hour rule to using cash, replacing habits, and visualizing goals.
It really boils down to building awareness, applying consistent discipline, even starting small, and making sure your spending truly aligns with what you value most, not just what feels good for a second. And remember, you don't need to overhaul everything overnight. Just pick one strategy to focus on this week. Maybe it's unsubscribing from emails. Maybe it's trying the 24-hour rule just once. Small wins build momentum.
That's great advice, and it leads perfectly into our final thought for you, the listener, to take away and mull over this week. Building directly on that idea of starting small and on habit replacement and future goals, ask yourself this.
If you could commit to replacing just one regular impulse spending habit this week with one of these new constructive strategies, which single small action would you choose right now to start building that future financial freedom? Identify it, commit to it, and take that first step.